Lesson 20, Pioneer Pilots. This time we'll talk about early pilots. Now first, listen to the text and answer this question. What was the name of the first plane to fly across the English Channel? 飞越英吉利海峡的第一架飞机叫什么名字？
In 1908, Lord Northcliffe offered a prize of £1,000 to the first man who would fly across the English Channel. Over a year passed before the first attempt was made. On July 19th, 1909, in the early morning, Hubert Latham took off from the French coast in his plane, the Antoinette IV. He had travelled only 7 miles across the channel when his engine failed and he was forced to land on the sea. The Antoinette floated on the water until Latham was picked up by a ship. 2 days later, Louis Blériot arrived near Calais with a plane called No. 11. Blériot had been making planes since 1905, and this was his latest model. A week before, he had completed a successful overland flight, during which he covered 26 miles. Latham, however, did not give up easily. He too arrived near Calais on the same day with a new Antoinette. It looked as if there would be an exciting race across the channel. Both planes were going to take off on July 25th, but Latham failed to get up early enough. After making a short test flight at 4:15 a.m., Blériot set off half an hour later. His great flight lasted 37 minutes. When he landed near Dover, the first person to greet him was a local policeman. Latham made another attempt a week later and got within half a mile of Dover, but he was unlucky again. His engine failed, and he landed on the sea for the second time.
Did you catch the name of the first plane to fly across the English Channel? Right. The name was No. 11. Though the plane's name was No. 11, it was actually the first, No. 1, to fly across the English Channel. 这篇课文讲述的呢是飞行史上最早的几次尝试，分别由 Blériot 和 Latham 来进行的。Somehow, Latham, the loser of the race, is presented as a more interesting character than the winner. Latham 其实是第一个试图飞越英吉利海峡的飞行员，虽然他的尝试以失败告终 ，he did not give up easily. 而且呢 ，this character is given some human touch. 到了比赛的那一天 ，he didn't get up early enough. 尽管 Latham 2次的尝试都失败了，但是他仍不失为一个真正意义上的先驱者。Okay, now we'll look at some language points in the text. Pioneer pilots. Pioneer 后边加上一个名词，是说 one of the first in that field. 这里呢就是指飞行员的先驱者。I'll give you 2 more examples. A pioneer photographer, 最早的摄影师。A pioneer sociologist, 就是社会学领域的先驱，或者说最早的社会学家。Lord Northcliffe offered a prize of £1,000. 这里 prize 是奖金的意思，就是说他提供了1000镑作为奖金。那么 prize 的词义呢，除了奖金之外，当然还有奖项。说颁奖、授奖，动词经常用 award； 获奖，动词经常用 receive 或者 win。Also look at this example. The first prize is $1 million in the national lottery. 这个全国的彩票的头奖是100万美元。这里 prize 也是奖金的意思。Over a year passed before the first attempt was made。这句话当然也可以用 after 来表达，那就是 the first attempt was made after a year passed。但是用 before 来表达呢，比用 after 更加强调过去的时间之长，相当于 until， 直到什么时候才发生。就是 the first attempt was not made until over a year passed. Now look at these examples. 我们来看看这样用 before 的例句。It was an hour before the police arrived. 其实就是说 the police did not arrive until an hour later. 同样这句里 Many years had gone by before I saw her again. 也是强调 I didn't see her again until many years had gone by. Latham took off from the French coast. Take off from certain place 意思是起飞。我们经常在乘飞机的时候会听见 Ladies and gentlemen, our plane is to take off soon. 女士们、先生们，我们的飞机马上就要起飞了。Take off。课文中另外一句告诉了我们怎么说着陆或者说降落。When he landed near Dover. I'll give you another example. We are to land at Heathrow Airport at 4:30. 我们将在4点半时降落在 Heathrow 机场。我们来看看课文中有2句话中都出现了 fail 这个动词。His engine failed and he was forced to land on the sea. Latham failed to get up early enough. 这2句中 fail 的意思是不同的。The first fail means the engine stops working. 这个引擎不工作了。The second fail, or fail to, means not do something as expected. 第二个 fail to do something 是说没有能够做什么事情。这句话当中就是 Latham did not manage to get up as expected. I'll give you 2 more examples to compare the differences. The brakes failed, so the car crashed into a tree. 车闸坏掉了，所以车撞在了树上。But in this sentence, the letter failed to arrive on time. It means the letter did not arrive on time. 信没有能够如期到达。Latham was picked up by a ship. Pick up, 它总的意思就是 collect. 我们需要根据上下文来判断它具体的意思。在这句话当中呢，就是 rescued from the sea, 从海中救起的意思。Now I'll give you several more examples, and we'll see what pick up means in each of them. 我们来看看以下几个例句中 pick up 分别都是什么意思。I picked up the book he threw away. 我把他扔掉的书捡了起来，或者捡了回来。She picked up her jacket from the dry cleaners. 她从干洗店里把自己的外套取回来。Can you please pick me up at the airport? 这里 pick up 是说接人，你能不能在机场接我一下？ He covered 26 miles. Cover 在这里的意思就是他走完了这些距离。Cover 这个动词呢，它表示一种完成状态，我们需要根据不同的语境来判断它的意思。它可以分别表示覆盖多大的面积，走完了多少的路程或者距离，或者是涵盖哪些内容等等。Look at these examples. The garden covers 10,000 square meters. 那么 cover 跟一个面积连用，是说这个花园的面积是多大。We have already covered half of the distance. 我们已经走完了一半的路程。 The report covers most of his key points. 这份报告呢，涵盖了他主要的观点。It looked as if there would be an exciting race across the channel. It looked as if, 或者有时候我们也用 it looks as though, 后边通常要加虚拟语态，表示看来怎么样。For example, it looks as if we made the right choice. 看来我们做的选择是对的。He looked as if he hadn't slept for a whole week. 他看上去的样子呢，好像一个星期没有睡觉了。注意这两句话当中和课文一样，用的都是虚拟语态。After making a short test flight 意思是试飞。那么买车之前的试车就是 test drive. In both cases, test means for trial. Blériot set off half an hour later. Set off 这是一个固定的词组。It means to start to go somewhere. 出发去什么地方。Look at this example. He set off early in order to avoid the traffic. 为了避免塞车，他出门很早。Latham got within half a mile of Dover. Within certain distance of a certain place means less than how far from a certain place. 意思就是 less than half a mile from Dover. 它离 Dover 只有不到半英里的距离。Now look at this example. We are within 2 kilometers of the city center. It means we are less than 2 kilometers from the city center. 我们离市中心大概还有不到2公里。Finally, let's look at how the contrast of the winner and the loser is expressed in our text. 最后呢，我们来看一下在我们的课文中这两个飞行员之中的对比是怎么样表达的。我们要经常注意，有些时候在一些语境中呢，一些词语带有明显的倾向性，所以呢，我们不必等到读完一个句子就已经能够大体了解句子的含义。For example, he had completed a successful overland flight during which he covered 26 miles. His great flight lasted 37 minutes. 上面这两个句子呢，是用来描述胜利者 Blériot 的，使用的动词是 complete、cover、last。那么这些动词本身是具有结论性的，它们表示一种完成。还有形容词 successful、great， 这是具有明显的倾向性的形容词。这样胜利者的姿态就非常生动地显现出来了。Now let's look at the loser and how the loser is described. He had traveled only 7 miles. He made another attempt. He got within half a mile of Dover. 上面这两句话呢，道理也是一样。对失败者的描述呢，是通过这个副词 only 还有动词词组 make an attempt 来完成的。而 within half a mile of Dover 这个呢，就间接的提示了我们他没有到达目的地。Right. Now finally, let's come back to the question I gave you before you listened to the text. 最后我们再回到在听课文之前我给大家提出的这个问题。Do you still remember the question? What was the name of the first plane to fly across the English Channel? But in the text, when the name of the plane is mentioned, we didn't know yet that this particular plane was the first. 在课文中提到这架飞机名字的时候，我们还不知道获胜者就是这架飞机。So this requires the skill of note-taking. 就是说，做笔记这种技巧是非常重要的。虽然理解非常关键， 但是有时候理解之后呢，可能会不记得。尤其是像我们这篇课文中间有很多细节，包括 names of the planes, names of the pilots, the flight time, flight distance, and the result of the race 等等。而且这些细节对掌握整篇课文是非常关键的。不论你的笔记采用什么样的形式，养成一个比较好的习惯是非常重要的。比如说，对数字和细节要反应灵敏。再比如说，可以使用一些符号，这样呢，以免耽误下边要听到的信息。而且，不单单是在听力训练当中，即便是在日常交流中，分清主次，抓住重要的信息也是非常关键的。All right, so much about this lesson. See you next time.